What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Burning Hammer, and in this video, we will be giving you our WWE Elimination Chamber predictions for every single match.
Who's gonna escape the chamber?
Let's go. All right, so
let's get it.
Let's start with the Grayson Waller effect.
The Grayson Waller effect.
There are 4 matches plus the Grayson Waller effect. We are recording this probably like a week before you're actually watching it, so there is a chance they add a match. I don't think they're necessarily going to, but I think they're going to run it with four matches.
You don't think Gunther has a match?
No, apparently
he can't leave the country. Yeah.
Yeah, which I found out the hard way. Thank you to all the Burning Hammer faithfuls.
Yeah. All right.
Let's get into it, man. Maybe they add a match between Final Testament and Lashley and the Prophets, but it seems like they're kind of already wrestling. So I think they're going to run it with 4 and just let them go for a while. But
yeah, seems like we're going to be going with that.
The Grayson Waller effect. He's going to have the guests of Seth freaking Rollins and the American Nightmare, Cody, Rhodes. This is interesting because I was trying to figure out what they were really going to do for it. And it was going to kind of be...
Having some microphone issues. We're good, my apologies. It was like falling over. I just wanted to do that before it actually fell over.
You're good.
All right, there we go. We're good.
All right, we'll start from the top.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like it was kind of noisy. All right, so we're going to start off with the Grayson Waller effect. He's going to have on 2 guests of Seth freaking Rollins and the American Nightmare, Cody, Rhodes. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I think I was trying to figure out like what they were going to do for this. And it was kind of going to be based off of what happened with the Rock segment, which if you want to hear us talk about that, you can listen to our podcast, which came out a couple of days ago, where we really go in on the Rock in that segment and everything happening with that. But to me, it feels pretty clear that Cody and Seth sort of lay down the challenge for Rock and Roman.
Yeah, that's where it feels like we're headed. Yeah, that's what it feels like we're headed. Doesn't it feel like they're gonna make like Grayson Waller the host of WrestleMania?
Probably.
I feel like that's the kind of vibe I'm getting.
I
would be cool with.
I think there's a chance him and Theory could wrestle for the tag titles also.
I would like that better, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. It's in Philly. It's a shame because Paul Heyman would be a cool host, but...
Yeah, that would be sick.
Maybe Sandman?
Who else could they get? Bro, no. They are not getting the Sandman to host fucking WrestleMania, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but that would be
pretty
awesome.
Sure all respect to the Sandman, but Jesus Christ, dude. Just get like this fucking get a 60-year-old alcoholic from South Philly to fucking hobble in there, just fucking fucking railing Newports. Still, it's like it was cool when he was 25, but now he's just like in his 60s. Probably looks like he's about to die. All respect, much love to the Sandman.
You're a legend.
That would be hilarious, though. Who knows? RVD? Nah,
he's under contract with AEW, I believe.
Yeah, nah. We'll figure. They'll figure. It also doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, yeah, it really feels like we're probably gonna get the Seth and Cody challenging, The Rock and Roman Reigns to a tag team match at night 1.
I'll tell you what. My goodness. Did Seth Rollins have one hell of a segment?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's one where it's like, I like to think of whoever was writing it, and they were just like writing it, and as soon as they hit him with that last line, he was probably so pumped.
Yeah.
He was probably just like, there's only one person who is uniquely suited to be your shield. I screamed. I literally screamed. It was awesome. So I also like, I guess, we'll kind of get into it briefly, but I like how they're sort of building Roman up as like the final boss. Like Cody needs to beat Roman, and
Yeah.
it will like change the landscape of everything if he does or if he doesn't. So I really like how they're building up this feud, and like I said, I think we're going to get them laying down the challenge. I think it's going to be Seth
Totally.
and Cody,
And I think
sort of
it
coming
was
together.
fire too, like that Seth segment too, how he was like, you need to beat Roman. Like he was
Yeah.
like not for you. He was like, you need to do it for me. You need to do it for everybody. Like you need to beat Roman. Like that was very cool. He made it. He very instantly got himself involved in Cody's story in a way, in a genuine way. And I don't like. And Seth is so fire. Like he's just so good, dude. Like, yeah, he's just amazing. And I think, dude, night one, give me Seth pinning The Rock. Like, I
Probably.
need that'll be so awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, that I guess you can't really make much of a prediction for it because it's a not a match or whatever. But I guess our prediction would be that Cody and Seth are gonna lay down a challenge for a tag team match against The Rock and Roman.
Agreed. So let's move on to the tag team championship match, which is your champions, the Judgment Day, are defending their titles against the newly named New Catch Republic, which is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I could see this going either way, although I don't think the Judgment Day are going to drop the titles yet. It doesn't feel like the time. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't feel like the time, and we're right before Mania. I think if you're gonna have them drop it, have them drop them at Mania in a big way, in a big match, where you can probably get a lot of like. It really feels like they're gonna go that direction and get other tag teams involved.
And they have a ton of them. They like
match.
really built up their tag team divisions for both Raw
And it feels like
SmackDown.
it feels like they're doing it to lead to a big match at Mania, doesn't it?
Ladder match.
That tag team ladder match would be pretty fire.
What if they
do you
did a tag team ladder match, but for both the tag titles?
Like they did one night and a second one the other night?
No, they put them on the line in the same match. So you can't, once you win one set, you're like done in the match.
I just feel like that would be kind of weird.
Probably would be.
Because then it just automatically like makes the other ones like the second prize. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there's a better chance that they like get new tag titles and then they will have the new set on the line in a ladder match. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like that where they defend both the titles kind of separately in the same match. And I don't know. Do you think there's any shot that they drop them at Chamber?
I think like there's a slight chance. Like I wouldn't be completely shocked, but would be a bit surprised.
Agreed.
I wouldn't like, hey, I love Pete Dunne, I love Tyler Bate. I would be a little bit confusing. I think the Judgment Day is in a pretty decent spot right now with the tag titles. I didn't like necessarily love putting them on them right like when they did, but I think they've turned it into something pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the best. They're the biggest stable in the company, right? You know what I mean? They're like the most.
It makes sense.
Pretty much. Like it makes sense, but it would have. Yeah, man. I really don't know where they're gonna go. Exactly where they're gonna go with it, but I do think the Judgment Day retain. Could you see them somehow doing Damian and Dominic versus Finn and JD at Mania?
As it
or not yet?
As it stands in this very moment, not really. Just because we haven't gotten anything that would lead me to believe that that's happening. But I think that is a match that they could do. I think it is like something I could see if like maybe they start to not get on the same page again, and then like Finn sort of distances himself and sort of teams up with JD. So like I could see it happening, but I don't have any reason to believe currently. Like, I have no substance to believe that it's going to happen. I just think the likeliest scenario is they like get new tag titles, give Judgment Day the new ones, and then get a second set, and then throw those on the line in a ladder match at WrestleMania, and it's going to be friggin' awesome. So,
yeah.
Let's move on to what I think is going to be the main event. I think it's kind of a slam dunk to be the main event, and that's going to be Rhea Ripley defending her Women's World Championship against Nia Jax. Obviously, Rhea's going to win. Feels like there's about 0% chance that she drops the title to Nia Jax now.
And I think that this has to main event, dude, especially because she's probably not going to main event Mania. Like there's like a 99% chance she's not going to main event Mania. She was upset that she didn't main event Mania last year because she won the Rumble, and she says that the winner of Rumble should get to main event WrestleMania, which is she's not completely wrong when she says that. I understand the sense and the story we had last year, like with Sammy and KO versus the Usos. I see both sides completely, but I think this is going to be, I guess, Triple H's way of trying to somewhat make her happy by giving her the main event, which is it's gonna be like a WrestleMania size show. I think it's like 70,000 people, right?
North of 70,000.
Yeah,
in our home country.
Yeah, in our home country.
Main
so
event.
I think has to main event. But yeah, and there's zero chance that Rhea loses. Like zero chance.
I think they're gonna sort of build this up as like this is Rhea's toughest opponent to date.
Yeah.
Which probably Nia is. And I don't think it's going to be a complete squash match. I think that Nia's probably going to hold her own in there, and then Rhea's just going to kind of get that flurry of offense, and then hopefully she hits the Riptide.
Hell yeah.
So let's move on.
Yeah, we're both taking Rhea.
Yeah. And you should be taking Rhea too. So let's move on to let's do the men's Elimination Chamber match. Now, this is for the number one contender to see who's going to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. You got Randy Orton, you have Bobby Lashley, you have Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Logan Paul. Now, this one's interesting. To me, at least, it seems like most of these guys are going to be involved with different feuds for WrestleMania besides one person, which is Drew McIntyre. I know we've kind of been talking about it outside of the podcast for a while that Drew's probably going to win this and face Seth at WrestleMania for the world title.
It feels like he has to, man. Like obviously it seems like that's the direction they're going. Not only that, but Drew is on fire right now. Like he's
best work of his career.
Easily doing some of the best work in the company. Currently, he deserves it. Like he was robbed of his main event during the COVID year, where he had the main event in front of nobody, and then of course he lost a Clash in the Castle, and he lost to Seth. Where was that? SummerSlam? Or was that in Saudi? It don't matter. A lot of big losses for Drew.
I know he lost to Seth
he lost to Gunther.
Raw
you know what I mean? He lost to Gunther. So like big losses for Drew, and a big win is very, very deserved and long overdue for Drew at this point. And it feels like that's where it's going to happen, is at Mania, taking the belt off Seth. So that is 100% my prediction. The only way I really don't see it being Drew versus Seth straight up is if somehow they get somebody else involved. Like if they somehow get Sammy involved or something. But I don't know. Like, it really feels like we're going to get Drew versus Seth one-on-one, which I'm completely okay with, and I think everyone else is.
Yeah, so you also have to look at, like, if you want to sort of, like, dive into the meat and the potatoes for this. Like, obviously Seth is a babyface, one of the biggest babyfaces in the company. If you just look at like who's going to be the heel that's going to go up against him, it's either Logan Paul or Drew McIntyre. Like, and I'm not saying they can't necessarily do a face versus face, but I mean, you have someone going up against your biggest babyface, one of your biggest babyfaces in the company. It's probably better just to have a heel. So obviously Logan's not going to win. We're both saying Drew McIntyre is going to win. I think there's a chance that maybe Logan eliminates LA Knight to set up their match for WrestleMania.
Yeah, it feels
Maybe
like that's
LA
it feels like
Knight
they're going to set up
eliminates
some stuff here.
Yeah, and that's also I'm shocked
Like,
they
what
didn't-
else besides LA Knight and Logan do you think they can set up here?
They could set up maybe if Final Testament gets involved with Bobby Lashley, they could probably set that up. If you don't do LA Knight and Logan Paul, you can set up Kevin Owens and Logan Paul again. Randy,
Feels like LA Knight
not-
versus Logan Paul is the thing, though.
yeah, I'm not sure what this could set up for Randy just based off of like who's going to be involved in the match. I don't think there's going to necessarily be like an outsider who's going to come in and affect Randy for this. So
AJ's not in it, right?
no. Another surprising name who was left out of this, but there's a lot of interesting things that could happen with this match. But we're both
I
taking
feel like
Drew
Randy
McIntyre.
versus AJ is the way to go for Mania.
It would be
but
sick. That would be a great
Yeah.
feud.
I think that's the way to go for sure.
Yeah, you kind of just have to
it's two
turn
legends.
AJ full heel.
He basically is, and he's like, and then it's like it's two legends. Have we ever really had a feud with them? Like, we've probably had, maybe. I don't know though. Not like nothing too
I can't-
memorable. Like
I
maybe
don't
for the
know.
WWE title.
I don't know.
It would be fire though.
Yeah,
Long enough
agreed.
for us to be like, fuck it, yeah, let's have these two legends go at it at Mania. Like neither of them are really doing much, storyline wise. It feels, and I mean, I'm all for it. And yeah, so that's just my take on that. But I'm picking Drew to win for sure. How about you? You're taking Drew?
Yeah, 100%. And like we were saying that before the this was even like kind of a thought before anyone was qualified. We just kind of figured, all right, even like way before the Rumble, we were like, Cody's going to win the Rumble. They'll probably do number one contender for Seth's title, and it's probably going to be Drew. So we're both taking Drew McIntyre, feel pretty confident about it. Let's move on to the Women's Elimination Chamber match, because if you ask me, I think this one's going to be better than the men's, because you've got the man, Becky Lynch, you've got Naomi, you have Liv Morgan, you have Bianca Belair, you have Tiffany Stratton, and at time of recording this, we are not aware of the final woman who will be participating in the match.
What's the qualifying match?
Let me look it up real quick, and you can go over your predictions.
Yeah, well, I think we're both probably in agreement that Becky Lynch is going to win this Elimination Chamber. She's never been in the Elimination Chamber, so it's something that they probably want to throw on her, like put another notch in her belt, being that she's going to go down as like one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time in the women's division. And it definitely seems like we're getting Rhea versus Becky at Mania. I mean, we've gotten a couple like if that's not where they're going, then they are really swerving us, because they had them go face to face at the or like the kickoff event or whatever.
Yeah,
the press event. And so and that is the match that it feels like is there. Everybody, it's a big match. Everybody wants it. I think giving Rhea a big win over Becky really cements her as she's a top star now, and she's up there with the rest of the top women.
Especially with like,
she already is, but like that like puts her up on another level.
Yeah, like she obviously she has like the big win against Charlotte, but it's also just like
beating Charlotte and Becky back-to-back years at Mania
would be big.
Like,
Especially just
yeah.
because who has like really what big star has challenged her over since during like her title reign? Like she's kind of been getting some like not quite stars, but they're
People
not
have
like
definitely been complaining
bad
about the
wrestlers.
Feuds.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's been a
Becky's
lot of
easily
like the
by
Zoe
far
Starks.
the biggest challenge. She would be easily be the biggest challenger. You know what I mean? That Rhea faced, hands down. So,
and no one else in this match really feels like a WrestleMania match for her. Maybe like Bianca, I could see also winning, but
the only other one I could see
Morgan
personally is Liv, just because they're like really pushing this like vendetta that Liv is like dead set on coming after Rhea. But with that being said, it still feels like they're gonna do Becky. It still
Becky.
feels like even if the story is there with Liv and it's cool, I think, Becky just has that star power, and it's a match that we all want. So
yeah,
give it to us at Mania. Awesome. You can't have that match not at Mania. So, I mean, you can, but we're right here, so give it to us. Yeah,
exactly. All right, so we're both taking. We're both gonna take Becky Lynch for the women's.
We have the same exact predictions, so
yes, which is fine. I think this is not a crazy, like a super hard.
Yeah, this is one of the more. Usually, it kind of is. It's right before
especially right
Mania.
For Mania.
Yeah,
pretty straightforward matches. Nothing too crazy is gonna happen. So,
but
that being
if we
said,
get swerved, we get swerved. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. That's going to wrap up the video. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're about 50 away. We want to get to 1K subs before WrestleMania. So if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, what are you doing, you jabroni? You got to make sure to subscribe. You got to make sure to like. And you got to make sure to comment. You comment. Let us know in the comments down below your match predictions. With that being
Burning
said,
Hammer.
We will catch you in the next video.
See ya.